Hello everyone. This is Echo Chaos, and this is my first ever YouTube video. I've been delaying this video for like months now, but I decided to finally just take the plunge and just make it and just see how this goes. I'm going to only be doing this recording. So if it gets confusing or if I leave out facts or if I leave out information, I'm just going to make a backup video going into more in depth about everything. Because knowing me, I'm gonna leave stuff out. Knowing me, I'm gonna forget about stuff. Knowing me, this video isn't gonna have everything that I want to talk about LoveSick, because truthfully, if you like, you guys know like that Coraline, the theorist, how he has like a 2-hour video about Coraline. I'm pretty sure I can make like a 24-hour video just talking about everything in LoveSick. And what I'm gonna be talking about today, depending on how long this takes me, this is just about season 1. We're not even, oh my goodness, I can't even get into season 2 without losing it. Without losing it. I will lose it if I have to talk about season 2 of LoveSick, because season 2 has so much going on. There's so many characters, all the different couples, the drama, the endings of all the couples, and like that's not even with me talking about like all like the like I guess the heterosexual couples is what I refer to them as. Like, we're not talking about Jeed, we're not talking about Mo, we're not talking about any of that. We're not talking about Ping and her thing. We're not talking about any of that. Even in this video, I'm not even talking about that. I'm simply talking about Noah and Phun's story. And then, because at least for the first season, that's the only BL couple that we get, which is just Noah and Phun. But if I was to talk about LoveSick season 2, and oh my god, there's too much. There's too much. I feel like this is just gonna be like my ongoing thing. It's just talking about LoveSick because I'm obsessed with it. I analyze it. I really go into depth, but I do that with all my shows. So we're going to start with LoveSick. So let me just jump in and give a background story. Oh, wait, also, let me just let this down. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers. Pretty much everything that happens in LoveSick from like beginning to end will be mentioned, and if it's not mentioned in this video because I forgot about it, it will be mentioned in the next video I do about it, if that's the next video I post after this one, or the videos down the line. It's just an ongoing topic that will just keep occurring. So let's get started with what LoveSick is about. So, oh wait, I forgot to explain what this is. So, hello, Echo Chaos. This is the checklist. So what I'm doing in this, what this series is going to be about with this YouTube channel, is what I want to make it about, is that I want to make it about BLs. I want to talk about all the BLs that I've watched, from LoveSick to Together With Me to Together With Me in the Next Chapter, Darn Type, Love by Chance, all of them. Even Make It Right. Even I have a big vendetta against Make It Right, but even Make It Right, I want to talk about them. I also want to get into it eventually, because I want to start with BL and like get that going. But I also want to talk about like non-BL series like Meteor Goblin. Like, that's another show that I can sit and talk about for hours. I want to talk about those shows too, like other shows. Love Alarm. Who's watching the I can't even watch the second season yet. Can't even. I gotta go back and rewatch the first one, get all my emotions through, and then binge watch the second one right after. Like, there's so much I want to talk about in these series, and it's just not reacting to them. I just don't, because one, my reacting videos will probably be 3 times longer than my review videos, and also because I feel like I want to deep dive more into what's happening. I just don't want to react to it. I want to analyze it. I want to get in depth. I want to look at some specific stuff, symbolism, other stuff like that. That like make the series what it is. It's not just me looking at the series and be like, oh, that was cute, or they kiss. Like, not just me like trying to hide my face behind a pillow. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. I love watching those videos. It's just not something I want to do because it feels repetitive and it feels like I can't bring anything new. And this is why I feel like it would be my ish to the community, what I can bring to the community as a whole, what we can talk about and analyze together, and like just have a conversation about these shows more than just, oh my goodness, two hot guys kissed on screen. So yeah, I just want to deep dive more into the show, deep dive more into it, and bring about something that maybe the writers didn't try to convince, or the actors just made it look so flawlessly. But that's what I want to do. So with the checklist, I essentially together a checklist of all the things that I feel like qualify a good BL series. It's not anything crazy. It's just plot, the characters, and the romance. Easy, right? Easy, right? It's just three simple things: plot, characters, and romance. What can go wrong? Well, some of these shows they fail in all three, but we're just going to jump in. So with plot, let's talk now. Back on track. Let's talk about LoveSick. LoveSick starts with no. It starts at a party, where everyone's like jamming, like you know, they're like popping and locking and like throwing it back. I don't know if anyone was some people were throwing it back, but it was a party for AIM, and then that's where technically we're kind of introduced, but I don't label it as our first introduction, because I'm gonna be honest, when I went to go back and watch this, I totally forgot this first episode happened. And I think we could all agree LoveSick's first episode was a catastrophe. At least like that whole party scene, I don't know what they thought we were going to like about that, but that was a mess. That was not how you introduce the characters, because her birthday wasn't even significant. But anyways, just putting that up. It was the opening could have been better. But we started the party, and that's where I guess technically we're introduced to all the main characters. We're introduced to AIM, and we're introduced to her boyfriend PhunNoh. We're introduced to Yuri and her boyfriend PhunNoh, and we're also introduced to Fluke, all the other characters, Jeed, Mo, all of them, but not important to the story as of yet, because we're just focusing on Noah and PhunNoh. We're just focusing on their love story, right? So then, to transfer over, we meet them at school. Now, Noah is the president of the music club, and PhunNoh is what I believe to be the assistant of the student council. He's just on the student council, so he deals with all the finances for all the clubs. However, the music club stupidly decided to allow pretty much a freshie to gamble the money and try to get the money they needed for the club. However, they got pretty much bullied into giving their share of the money to like demand that, hey, we need this much money for our club, and just like haggling others ones to get the money. He was bullied out of giving the money to the other clubs, and essentially they came out short, really short to the point they can't buy the instruments that are literally already have been purchased and are on their way there. So No goes back to, oh no, my bad. No goes back to goes to the student council after he finds out the news, and that's where him and PhunNoh have their first interaction. Now, there's, first of all, PhunNoh under the table, weird, just vibes, and No just looks confuzzled, confused, just all around just like, oh my goodness, I gotta get this shit fixed. And out of all the things, right, after he figured out, he's like, oh, well, we gotta have to talk about, like, PhunNoh telling him, oh, we gotta have to talk about it, we gotta figure it out. The first thing to fix this, right, that PhunNoh decides, it was like, no, like, just be my boyfriend. And of course, No, it's like, what? No, and he walks out. Oh, and I'm just like thinking in my head, like, what just happened? Like, why is it comes in later, but why would be the first thing that you tell him that to get his help? It's essentially like sell himself to get the instruments. Well, as it comes to be, we end up having to sell ourselves, because then puts in more information about what's happening. Is that, hey, my dad wants me to get with his coworker's daughter, but I don't want to get with a coworker's daughter because everyone knows I'm dating AIM. Apparently not him, but I can't date him. And so the only way to convince him to not let him date her, is to get my little sister Ping, who is addicted to BLs and who just loves guys like hugging and holding hands and all that crazy shit. I need to convince her to tell my dad to not allow me to date this girl. So I need to find a fake boyfriend to convince my sister, who then convince my dad, and so then I can go back and date AIM. So that's what I need you for. Which doesn't make a lick of sense. Why aren't you just telling your dad that this is your problem? Like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? This is not how you solve your problems. But you just, if anything, you should show your dad. I feel like all of this could have been easily resolved if he just showed his dad that he loves Abe, that he cares for Abe, that he wants to be with Abe. Instead of, I don't know why he's hiding that or not presenting that or letting him know. It's not like, it doesn't seem like Aim's poor or that she's like not rich. I mean, they're both always shopping in the district. So I want to believe that Aim comes from a financial wealth if she's at that school. It seems, well, especially from G's perspective, like all those girls are like rich at that school. So there's no reason why that like she feels the need to, like he feels the need to lie to his sister, to inevitably lie to his dad about the fact that he just doesn't want to date the girl from work. So yeah, so that's why. And so no, because we're desperate, right? Well, technically we got the money, but like I guess they don't want to ask their parents, which is a whole nother issue within this show, because like all these kids are like kind of rich, because it seems like it's not cheap to go to this school or even date somebody from the other school at this school. So it seems like the kids are rich. Like nobody's, Phun's house, I think we even saw Aim's house. From Phun's house to Aim's house to No's house, none of those houses are broke. And like both couples shop like nearly daily. They eat out daily. It's not like we don't really see them like doing work. We mainly see them shopping every day. So I don't understand how their parents aren't rolling in dough, or how the boys from the music club couldn't just ask their parents for the money. But anyways, getting off track. So he needs him to be bait. And so No, desperate as he is, says yes, because we need the money for this music show, and knows Phun's part of the council. He can get us the money. So we decide to fake date. And then we go into the segment where they're fake dating in front of the sister. They get in the bed. He makes a move. The sister comes in. She screams. All that mess, right? Then we go to the next day. They show up in the same clothes. All that happened, right? All that shabam, right? And then so the whole school. So then it starts, it's like lightly spreaded, right? It's like lightly spreaded rumors, like, oh, at least for the boys' school, like, oh, like, Phun and No are kind of fake. And then the boys from the music club are thinking, like, oh, no, you had to sell your body out to Phun to get our money for our club. Like, what a trooper! What an absolute trooper of you. So, which he probably isn't. Well, it's debatable. Well, and so we go to the day, and then we end with Phun taking Aim out on a like little walking cruise, and it seemed like it was about to get spicy. But luckily, No shut that down, because his dad called him while he was with Yuri and was like, "Hey, where's my bike?" And he's like, "What?" And the dad was like, "Yeah, where's my bike?" He's like, "Oh, snap, I left it at Phun's. I'll bring it home. My bad. BRB, I'll be calling you later." Click. He left Yuri on the sidewalk. Like, didn't even think about her. And then called Phun while he's with homegirl. It was like, "Hey, I left my bike at your place. Like, I need to go get it. My dad's freaking out." He's like, "Oh, okay." And so then Abe's like all sad and upset that she didn't get the dick. But so Phun leaves, and he goes meet up with No, and they go to the house. This is where we have what I like to call the water scene. And I call it, not the water scene, the water fight scene. Because this scene I feel is what started it all. Well, everything up to this point has generally has nothing to do with the main points. I feel like this water scene, and I'll get more into it later, but I feel like this water scene is so crucial to the story. Something sparked during this water scene. Something sparked. And we're not going to get into what I think sparked, but there's something sparked from this. Because everything after this, it all links back to this water scene. So we're going to leave it here, right? We're going to leave it here. We're going to leave the water scene alone, but remember, water scene. Crazy, right? Sis comes in, screams, oh my god! And then we go, he walks him home. We'll talk about that later too, because I want to analyze that all on its own. He walks him home, they leave, and then we start with Noah, and Noah had to put on ointment because his skin was really itchy, and so then he decides to ditch school for whatever reason. He decides to ditch school, go hit up Phun, and just hang out, chill, relax. And then he realized that Phun's sick. So he hangs out at Phun's house, and then he gives Phun the back rub scene. There's a bunch of scenes that I like to verify. So he gives Phun the back rub scene, and then it's he pretty much goes out and stalks Phun while he goes on his date with Aim, because Aim decided, for whatever reason, he calls Phun. He tells her he's sick, and she still decides to have this date for whatever reason. And you can tell how he looks, how he reacted to her on the date that he was sick, and that she should have just left him at home. But she was like, no, I gotta buy new shoes. I gotta buy new shoes. Even though I've been shopping every single day, all the time, I need my new shoes. So they go on their date, and then it leads to Phun collapsing and no whisking him away from both Yuri, because Yuri randomly just shows up, she's at the mall too, randomly just shows up, and then he whisks Phun's away from Yuri and Abe and takes him away to his house, where he nurses him back to health and gives him another bath, which is completely different to the ointment scene. You can tell that in this one day, Noah's attitude has completely flipped in a way, kinda. More so than normal, because when you look at the ointment scene compared, the back rubbing scene, compared to him giving him a clean rub down later on in that same day, it's completely different from each other. It's the same in a sense that he's helping Phun, but it's different about his actions to it, his behavior to it, his attitude that he had, how he did it. All of it's completely different compared to before, when he was doing the ointment for him earlier on. So they go throughout the night, they sleep in the same bed, they cuddle as usual, so cute, oh my god. And then he wakes up and he makes him a meal, and after the meal, this is where it could have been perfect, and also where shit hit the fan. This is where I say shit hit the fan, because think about this. Not even think about this. Look what happens.
ร้อน
เปล่าก่อนดิวะ
โจ๊กซองนี่หว่า
เติมหมูก็ขายให้ด้วย อร่อยเปล่า
ลอยโน่นนี่พรสวรรค์นะ
เอ้าอร่อยแล้วกุ้งทำห้องมึงเหรอ
แล้วต้องทานอะไรยัง
ไม่อะรอกินพร้อมปลามาเลย
ตอนเที่ยงเนี่ยนะ นอนพักก่อนดิ
ไม่เอา
กินดิจะได้ท้องเสียด้วยกัน
โหยิ่งไม่อยากกินเลย
กิน
กินไปเชี่ยไปแล้วเฮียแล้ว เฮียโทษ
ดื้อจริงๆบอกอยู่นิ่งๆไง
อย่าพึ่งจะจบด่านแล้วเนี่ย
เด็กดื้อนะมึงอ่ะบอกอยู่นิ่ง
เธอทำให้ฉันรู้ว่ารักจริงๆมันคืออะไรเพิ่งรู้ ว่าเพราะอะไรที่ใจต้องสั่นแบบนี้สั่นแบบนี้ทุกครั้งที่เราใกล้กันเธอทำให้ฉันรู้ว่าความอบอุ่นมันเป็นอย่างไรต่อให้ดวงอาทิตย์จะมืดมิดลับลาไปยังมีเธอใกล้กอดฉันไว้แค่นี้ฉันก็อุ่นใจ
เดี๋ยวกูไปหยิบยาก่อนนะ เดี๋ยวมึงไม่หาย
Like, you can't tell me that it was perfect. The mood, the food, the soup, the little soy sauce thing going on. It was like the blending, him feeding him, like all of it. It was perfect. And you know what? It was too perfect to be true. And that's exactly what happened. And because PhunNoh walks away and Phun looks like, oh no, what have I done? And I'm just thinking, yeah, what have you done? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? And not even that. If you were going to back out at the last second, why did you try? It felt like you had to have known what you were doing at this point. But we're gonna get back to that later. We gotta get back to that later because we need to move on. And No is like confuddled because Phun obviously is like ghosting, like hard to go. This was ghosting before like we even truthfully understood what the word even was. He was ghosting this man. And ghosting in the sense like he couldn't find him, he couldn't call him, and he had no idea where the flip he was half the time. Even though they went to the same school. Like he could not find this man. And not only was Phun ghosting Noh, but he also would do stuff for Noh, even though he knows that Noh's gonna ask him like, why are you not talking to me? Why aren't you interacting with me? Like, why aren't you hanging out with me anymore? Like, what's going on? Like, before all this, we were like mad cool, even though we hanged out for a day. And like now, like your girlfriend, my girlfriend, like besties, like we know each other, like, but now you're like acting all weird and stuff. Like, what's going on? And like he knows why, but he's not saying it because it's like, dude, like I'm trying to like act like nothing's going on here and try to like mend our friendship, and you're out here ghosting me. It's like if you don't want to talk about it, like I'm not talking about it, but I kind of just I want to talk to you and hang out with you, and you're making this weird, my guy. You're making this weird. And so it gets brought to Phun's attention, and Phun's like, what? No. And so then Phun goes out of his way to like help No, like I said, and he helps him by collecting Kong's car keys for him. And with No, without really not even telling No that he's helping him, he just put the keys on a bench and like left. Like, come on, man. And then he also went through the oh, the towel. He gave him the towel and like was like helping him like he gave him like the little rag towel, and then he gave him his own like big rag towel. Like I don't know why he didn't give him that anyways. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna help you like before. And he's like helping him pat him down, and he's like, oh, are you sick? And he's like, no, I'm not sick. He's like, oh, like it's like something going on? He's like, no. He's like, well, why aren't you leaving me? Because I want to stay with you. But then he's like, so why have you been avoiding me? And he's like, you know what? Just dry off and then close up this place. Like, what? But what is going through your head right now? What are you doing? And so for some bizarre reason, they both end up being at the flipping mall. They both end up at the mall. And Noah sees him while he's with Yuri. And this scene is very important, and I need you guys to listen. I need you guys to listen. If you haven't been listening, because I just been recapping, you need to listen right here about this flipping scene that just happened. These two scenes with Yuri and Aim are very, very important for essentially the entire series. specifically because what is said, what Yuri and Aim said at this moment at the mall is very crucial to literally everything that happens after. And I also want to bring this up, and I'll talk more about it later. There's no flipping way. Because I've watched the not official clips of the LoveSick, and I see even the official clips of the LoveSick, and I see the way people be talking about Yuri. First of all, don't talk about my girl like that, alright? I watched the series enough time to know she ain't as dumb and annoying as people want to think she is. That girl, she's too smart. I don't think Aim knew, because Aim was doing some shady shit anyways. But there's no way Yuri connected the fucking dots. But the only reason why Yuri didn't say or do anything about it, because one, she didn't want to believe it was true, and then two, what is she supposed to say? Like, even if she did believe it, what can she say? Because if she was to say anything, bro, that would have been a shit show for both schools. It would have been a shit show for both No and Phun, for the music club, for the student council, for the girls' school. Like, it would have been an all-out, like, crazy fest if she was to, like, bring it up or tell or, like, just bring up the fact that she knew. And you know she knows later on, because when she's telling PhunNoh about how Pang was, because Pang out there just telling everybody, like, oh, my brother, he has a boyfriend, he ain't dating that bitch Aim no more, he got a new boo. And you know what, I know everyone's like, bitch, you lying, he ain't got no new boo. And she's like, yes, he does. And you know how I know? Because he brought them over last night and they slept together. And I'm like, Pay, and then she looked all embarrassed. I'm like, you idiot. How you know? What are we gonna do, huh? You out here telling everyone all their business, because the thing is like, Ping doesn't know that, like, Phun lied not only to her but to Aim about everything that's going on. Aim doesn't even know. Yuri, Aim, PhunNoh, the hands, all right? So they see each other at the mall, right? Phun sees No sees Phun walking over to the mall, and Phun physically sees No with Yuri in the mall while he's with Aim, right? He's just distracted because he understands, like, we gotta talk, but I don't know what to say because I don't want to break my girlfriend's heart, and he has a girlfriend, but we love each other and all that. Well, not whatever that is. I don't know if it's love, but whatever they have, right? So they meet at the mall, right? And the girls, bro, the jealousy, ooh, the jealousy was hot. The jealousy was hot. I'm sorry, but it was through the flipping room because Phun was looking that jealous. He looked so upset that Yuri was like, look, we have matching little bag, like, ornament shit together. Oh my god, we're so cute. And then No was looking like just downright dejected when he realized Aim was looking at, like, wedding outfits. And I'm just like, bro, this is No, just a man done wrong. Well, all four of them are done wrong. Actually, out of all four of them, you're the only one who was done wrong, because homegirl stayed faithful. She said true, and she stayed like, he's my man's. Even though he doesn't want to admit he's my man's, he's my man's. And so Yuri's like, okay, we're gonna go eat cake, bye. And then they leave, they're walking off, and Phun has the flipping audacity. The music starts changing, No starts singing, and he grabs No's hands, and I'm like, well, actually, Captain, No's actor, starts singing, and then Phun grabs No's hands, and everyone's gasping, and everyone's crying, and it's an emotional scene, and like, oh, it's true love. And I'm just like, after the amount of times I've seen this, I swoon a little bit, and then I just get ticked, because I'm like, how flipping dare you? How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? You ignored us for the longest time. Didn't talk to us, didn't interact with us, you didn't do anything. You ignored for the longest time, and now you have the audacity to grab our hands? What? No. Oh. So he lets go, No leaves, and No goes home pissed. He's like, what is this? You don't talk to me. You don't say anything to me. He has like a whole mental breakdown. He tries doing yoga. He tries playing video games. He tries eating. He tries drinking some juice. Nothing's working. Nothing's getting him distracted from what just happened. So he's like, you know what? He passes that again. He's like, I'm heading out. It's 12 a.m. and I'm going out. So actually it's probably like 9 or 10 or whatever. He's like, I'm going out. His dad's like, what? He leaves and he's like, he's on the road cussing Phun out as he flipping shit, because how flipping dare Phun do this shit? And so he gets to Phun's house and then he's hesitant. As he should be, because like, we're here, but like, what are we supposed to say? So Pang comes in, right? Pang comes and she's like, oh my god! It's like, my boyfriend's all my life, which means like my best friend. So she brings him inside and like, let's go see Phun. And they drive in and they're having a talk. And Pang is just, you couldn't, if they were just doing what they were originally trying to do, which was convince Pang, they got her. Hook, line, and sinker. They got her. And I think getting hurt, they got themselves, because Phun was sitting there. No one was trying to believe, but also disbelieve everything Pang was saying, because he knows why Pang's saying it. Because they tricked Pang. They made Pang believe that this was real. They made Pang believe that this was a real relationship, like they were really together. When in all actuality, it was a completely fake relationship. They weren't dating, and they only did fake date to get her to say what she needed to say to the dad. Like, that was the only reason why any of this happened. So he goes up, they get drunk, and Phun just starts crying, and he's crying because he's like, the Brushai. He's like, you're a Brushai, I'm a Brushai. Brushai means guy. He was like, you're a guy, and I'm a guy, and you have Yuri, and I have him, and I don't want you to hate me. That's the least what I want you to do, but like, we can't be together, and I'm sorry. And then PhunNoh acts legitimately the best. After the scene, I tried to ignore everything, but he legit acts them. Like, if you weren't Phun, student council president, on the student council, dating Abe, and the brother of a financial debt, and I'm not music president, dating Yuri, and pretty much of a wealthy background. If we weren't this, and if we ignored all that, how do you feel about it? And he told him that I would want you, or he would want no. Like, if he could have no, he would. But he can't, because all the factors before that kind of make all that shit complicated now. And then they kissed, or placebo kiss. It's a kiss, so it's getting the check mark. They kiss. Woohoo. They kiss. They kiss, and then we go into, actually, they did more than kiss, because the fish show. And a symbol in the show that you're gonna find out very quickly is that fish mean a lot. Fish mean cuddling, fish mean sex, fish mean kissing. So if I'm not mistaken, they fucked. I'm pretty sure they fucked. I'm actually sure. And so then they go to school, and he's asking, he's like, was it the right thing? Like, now I feel like guilty. And he's like, you know what, like we just gotta move on. Like, you know, it's gonna be okay. Like, we're friends now. Like, that's all we can be. We're friends. And then, boy, oh boy, that shit didn't last long, because we introduced our main antagonist, who is not an antagonist, but our main antagonist, our main enemy man, the man that we all hate to love and love to hate. Interns earn. Now let me get this straight. Let me put this down. I adored Erd in the sense that Erd brought so many problems. Erd didn't give up. He brought problems and he didn't give up. Man was dedicated from the party all the way back in that first episode, that shit show. Yeah, he was there. To the first scene that I remember, the second time I watched it, was him sitting on the balcony. He's like, hey, no, like, he's like, you know, like that crush that's like on the top stair looking down at her crush. He's like, oh my god, hi, like that was him to know. Just swooning over no. They're just swooning. So Ern comes into the picture. Now Ern is like, what? PhunNoh up and like hanging out. He was over at his house. They wore matching uniforms. No fucking way. There's no fucking way. There's no way. There's no way Noah would do. No, it's not true. It's not true. He wouldn't believe it even if you showed him like an actual video recording of them kissing or doing something. He wouldn't believe it. You couldn't convince this man, right? So for whatever reason, Noah's on the bleachers late at night trying to figure this out because lo and behold, the money needs to come. The instruments are here and homeboy's looking for his money. He's like, oh my god. So I'm sorry, my guy. I'm so sorry. Like, we don't have the money yet. Like, we messed up at the student council meeting. He's like, are you kidding me? Like, how did you guys mess up? We sent a freshie and it's my bad. I'm the president, you know, my bad. I should have been monitoring that shit better. He's like, all right, well, you guys just send me as soon as possible. My girlfriend's gonna kill me. Like, you guys got all these instruments technically for free right now, but like, you need to get the money ASAP. He's like, yeah, I'll get it. And like, it's not like the music club wasn't trying to get the money, because they were trying to get the money too. But then one of the music members, I believe it's Per, he decides to gamble the money. All the money. They made the money back that they needed. He takes all the money they just made. They've been busking on the streets every single day since they figured out the money's been gone. Every single day. And they finally made the money back. Right? Literally kicking ass. Every single one. While everyone else is shopping, they're literally on the side of the street busking for literal penny change. They did it every single day. They finally made the money back that they needed. Finally, we're gonna tell No, hey, you don't have to. They were trying to get No out of the situation because they were realizing it was stressing him out. He had all these issues that he didn't have before, and they wanted to be good friends and get him out of there. So they bust on the side of the street to get the money. They finally get the money, and one member Per literally gambles all this money to some random man who he finds out from his schoolmates was a con man, and now realizes all their money that they literally just got to get the instruments is now gone. And now the instruments are there. So PhunNoh feels so bad because he's like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot like why I even was doing this. Like he forgot the main reason why he was doing it for the instruments. So now he's stressed, and now he's like thinking about it. Like he doesn't want to pressure PhunNoh because they have like this whole like friendship thing going, but he needs the money, but he also like he's falling for PhunNoh, but he can't fall for him because the girlfriend thing. It's a lot. It's a lot weighing on his mind. So our black and knight in shining armor, comes up. He's like, oh my god, babe, what's wrong? He's like, oh my goodness, like I'm going through a lot right now. Like I don't have the money for the instruments, and the instruments are here. I don't know what to do, and I just need help. And Ern's like, babe, don't worry, I got you. Homeboy goes into, see, this is how I felt like. I was like, why hasn't no one done this? Why did PhunNoh do this? And just tell him, pay me back by fake dating me. Ern walks up to the flipping ATM machine, yanks out all the money, and is like, here you go, babe. Here's the money you need. And he's like, oh my god, thank you. Oh my goodness, like, what do you want in return? And if only Ern was beaten to the punch, and he was like, oh my goodness, like, fake date. And Noah's like, what? He's like, no, I'm joking, haha, I'm joking. And he's like, oh, haha, funny, okay, you're joking. Ooh, thank goodness. And he was like, oh, he's like, I can't have that happen again. And Ern's like, what? He's like, don't even worry about it. So I guess he goes get some snacks. Essentially, I think he asked for snacks. He gave him some snacks, and then he did this stupid ringtone. Look at this! You know what? I'm gonna put it up here. I have to listen to this flipping ringtone cringe. You gotta listen to it too. Watch the clip. see that? Did you hear that? Did you experience that? I'm not gonna put it through you twice. I'm not gonna let you put it through it twice. But that's what he did. This boy did this, and he thought that was so flipping cute. He thought it was so cute. I don't know if it's it's so not in this season. It's so not in this season. It's so in the second season that he flipping brought that shit up. There's someone out of here for that mess. But bro, that shit's cringe, and I'm sorry. Like, he really thought he was doing something. Like, he really thought, like, he did something then. So, it gets back to Earn. Because he's in the student council office. Because the school festival is right in the corner. Oh my goodness. And we need to prepare. We need to prepare for the student council, like the student council, everyone, like the cheerleading, because Aaron's the cheerleading captain. I thought that was so cute. That's why I kind of like him a bit. He's the cheerleading captain. And PhunNoh is the music president. Yeah, he's cheerleading captain. Phun's the music president, and Phun's the music president. I keep getting them messed up. Phun's the music president, and Phun's on the student council. So they're all kind of working together to get the school festival ready, because it's all essential. But get this. So Phun finds out because he's in the the office where the necklaces are being, I think it's either necklace, I think it's necklaces and bracelets are for the festival that's supposed to be handed out. And he realizes that when the bracelets or necklaces were being brought in, that Erd and No were kind of just not there. And they were like, yeah, why wasn't Erd there? He was like, oh, he was hanging out with No. And the second that that Erd and No were kind of together on the side, bruh, the look on his face brings me immense joy. And I think it's just because it just feels like up to this point it was it's only been No that silently has to take all these jealousy moments. And it feels like that, Phun has to take it too, and he has jabbed. He jabbed at him about, oh, did you eat? You remember that? And then he brings up, oh, did you eat? Oh, you had to eat him with Yuri. I totally forgot about he makes jabs like that to him, oh, you're with Yuri, you did this with Yuri, but mainly it seems No societally taking everything, him being with AIM, him constantly calling, him seeing the messages about AIM, all this stuff, and No takes it silently while Phun openly admits that I'm jealous. So when boy lost it, beautiful scene, and Ern knew he had him. He knew from that look that he had him. So he was just making him jealous, just bringing it up. Yeah, I was like, no, alone. Yeah, I gave him some money. And we ate snacks together. Is that bothering you? Is that bothering you, bud? Is that bothering you? The look of this sheer smug on his face. Oh, I just love it. So then, Phun gets a phone call, and it's from No. And I'm just like, oh no, it's already gone. It's gone down the drain. Because then looked like he's not smug anymore. He's like, oh my goodness, yeah, come to the office. Come on. And then it just turns into a little, what is it called? A brute. Like a muscle man type contest, who's the bigger man and who deserves the girl or whatever, or that's what it felt like. And I was just this is fucking ridiculous, because it's it doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be like this. First of all, No isn't a fucking object, and second of all, Phun, didn't we just talk last night? And were you crying and saying, oh, you have Yuri and I have AIM, and we can't date all that mumbo jumbo, and now you're sitting here crying? Not even crying. You're sitting here getting mad about this? This is a mess. He gets mad, and so Phun leaves because he sees that Ern gives Phun the necklace, gives No the necklace. That's Ern gives No the necklace, and so Phun leaves, and No chases after him, and he's upset. He's like, why didn't you trust me? Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you talk to me about everything that's happening? And he was like, well, Ern was just there, and I needed to talk to someone about it, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get y'all upset about it. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, he bangs the wall. He was like, you should have talked to me, and he walks away. And, well, not you should have talked to me. I can provide for you. Big and walks away. I'm like, first of all, No look. Oh, so sorry. No looks so flipping lost. Oh wait. No looks so flipping lost. No doesn't. No look like he didn't have a flipping clue what he did wrong. He didn't have a flipping clue what hell was going on. Homeboy walked into a literal macho. It was a macho man fest, and was like, what's happening? Like, how did I get in between this? Like, how is this my fault for literally doing absolutely nothing other than just being a complete sweetheart? He gets put the blame for literally all this mess, right? So, hey everyone, this is Echo from the very far off future, and I'm just trying to explain what I'm talking about in this specific moment. So, I had realized that I had messed up the timeline of the story. So the timeline of the story is that before Ern, like the whole entire scene that you guys just watched about that, before that happened, when the instruments came, that day, Phun had dropped him off at school. And I completely forgot to mention that. Because I thought that happened later on, and I didn't have like a specific timeline. I was just going off of my memory. But Phun had dropped him off to school that day because the night before, like the whole day before, Yuri had came by to No's school to talk to him about what Ping had said. Remember how so earlier on I brought out how Ping told the Scrolls Covenant that Phun had brought someone over? Yeah, all that mess, right? I'm talking about after that. That's when Yuri came to No's school to talk to him about, hey, what's going on with Phun? Your Ping is saying that he's dating someone else that's not AIM. I know you two are close. Do you know who it is? I know you're not gonna tell me because you guys are close. Like that's what I'm trying to do. That's what happened, right? Like that day. And so then he goes, and then after that conversation with Yuri, No then goes over to Phun's house, and they go on that like hotel fiesta drunk experience night where they're at the hotel, they turn off their phones, they talk, and then they get out of their system, and then that's when Phun drops him off at school. So I messed it up pretty badly because that's such a key point in the timeline that I just skipped over, because I just naturally thought it happened later and not earlier. So yeah, so this is what I'm trying to explain. So I'm just gonna let her explain it, but I hope that this clarification helps, because I know listening to it, if I don't explain that this happened earlier, that some people who haven't watched it are just gonna be confused. And I wanted to just redo this, but I feel like now I wouldn't have the same passion and love and this overall like joy that I had while making this audio at the time. So I'm just gonna keep it. I just wanted to give an explanation about what's going on. So yeah, I'm gonna let past Echo get back into explaining the story. That's when Yuri goes and confides and goes to talk to No about it, and so then No goes back that next day to go talk to Phun, and then that's when him and Phun go to the hotel. They talk, and like they had that really whole emotional scene about how like I really do love you, but we really gotta be friends. And I feel like if we do this, I was thinking like feel like they like if we do this, like we can get this out of our system, like we can be fine. So they had sex. That's where the fish happened in both scenes, where they kissed in his bedroom when he was crying about it the day before, and then the next literally I feel like it's the next day where they had sex and they were crying in the hotel room together. So after the hotel room, they meet up he drops him off at school, and he goes to school, and then that's when he finds out that the instruments are due. But he just had like this whole moment with Phun, and so then that's when he goes tells Earn. That night he tells Earn about the instruments. Earn gives him money. That next day, Phun now knows that Earn was giving them got the money from Earn, and then Phun had this whole like anger moment with Noh about saying how you could have asked me, and then walked off. And then now after he had that whole scene with Phun, homeboy is so flipping confused. He's literally having illusions of Phun in his house as his maid. Homeboy was so flipping lost. So here's what happened next after that, right? Noah's confused, so he goes to talk to Phun. So him and Phun go eat at a restaurant. Phun then gets additionally jealous about the fact that Noah's getting happy about some girl he saw at a restaurant. And so then he's getting jealous again. So then after they ate at the restaurant, they're talking, and he took the necklace away from Noah, saying how, I don't want you to be anyone else's. And Noah's looking at him like, are you flipping kidding me? He's like, I shouldn't be jealous, but I am jealous. And he's like, you know what? We just gotta be friends. Everything's gonna be okay. Like, you're good. So he gives him a forehead kiss, like fucking cutest fucking kiss. And he's like, that's as much as I can give you. And I'm like, you shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. So, and that's how the series ends. And it goes, and there's more to it than that, right? It blends into the next season where shit just hits the fan and everything's gonna go crazy. But that's essentially the timeline of LoveSick. That's from start to finish, all the details, pretty much all the details. We're not really going into it a lot, but listen here. This is where we're about to break this stuff down. Now, what's the plot good? Bro, there was so much happening and not a lot happening, but overall, I'm probably biased in this, but I think the plot of LoveSick was good. Essentially because from my timeline, because I actually have a timeline of all the BL series from, I think it was 2014. No, this is earlier, from 2014. Like 2012 until like all the way till now. Like only the Thai BLs, because I was just that dedicated to seeing like BLs over time, and like a whole other topic of how people said there's not enough variety. But like, there's variety in the Thai BL community, but like people just aren't looking for it. However, got other topics. So for me, because it's one of the first that I saw that like really picked up speed, it's one of my favorites. It's my favorite. It also, I believe this was the first one I watched. And then after this I watched Circus, which literally threw me off. But with being the first Thai BL I ever watched, it's very close to my heart. That's why I feel like I can talk about it forever and for years, because anytime like now where I've fallen off so much from BL, I can always come back to LoveSick and just enjoy that moment of being like, yes, the shit show. Like I know what to expect, and I know what's going to occur, and I'm excited for it, and I love it so much, and I know it's like just never going to like I know it's just never gonna disappear or like fade away. It's like very crucial, and it's always a staple in my life. That it's never going to leave, and I feel very comfortable watching it over and over and over again, just noticing little minuscule details that I truthfully didn't notice before. So plot, is always gonna get a check mark. And also another thing that I like to bring up with plots are all the tropes that it performs, if there is any. And to be a trope, it has to happen before, but there's so many, like the fake dating, bad girlfriend, annoying girlfriend, hiding feelings, and cheating. We all love cheating. Am I right? We love cheating in BLs. We do. They happen very often. At least in the Thai ones. Very, very, very often. Almost all the time. Even Together With Me. It started with cheating, and Together With Me, the next chapter, ended with cheating. It's like it couldn't throw away that one could have thrown away that one little trope. It could have thrown it away. It could have thrown it away. It's realistic. It happened, but man, oh man, and it was good. I check mark in the plot development. Now let's talk about these characters now. Let me tell you about these characters. And we're gonna start with Yuri. We're starting with Yuri because I need to say I have a lot to say about Yuri. And here's what I have to say. Yuri was not dumb, and I hate that people call her annoying. I understand. No. I get it. But when you watch it 1,000 times, you get used to it. That's the least of your problems about literally. If the only thing bad you have to say about Yuri is that she calls No's name like 50 times and literally asks him where he is half the time when she's on the phone with him, then you forgot literally all the other crazy bad shit that all the other characters are doing. No, Phun, and Aim all cheated, and No cheated on Yuri. Even though they're technically not dating, he cheated on her. Because in their eyes, they're technically a thing. So, yeah. And the worst, and you gotta admit, Aim, you can't say Aim's a nice person. I can't believe people, it took to the end of season 2 for people to really recognize Yuri for, like, the amazing character she was. And also, her actor, love her. I hate that she, at least in the 2 series, like, both in this and Love by Chance, she's using, like, the jealousy girl. Like, why? She's, like, when is she gonna get her happily ever after? Like, I get it. Sam deserved hers, and I understand that. But, bro, my girl's been in the industry. Well, actually, they both been in the industry at the same time. But, bro, she deserves some, too. I want her to fall in love and be happy and just do amazing things, all right? I love her. And for the fact that people all the way back in the day hated Yuri for literally no other reason, than the fact that she was, like, just said his name a million times. Like, come on. And let's also be real. Yuri wasn't as dumb. Yuri was connecting the dots. The show lets you know Yuri was connecting the dots. And I think a lot of people like to think of her as dumb because how do you not see it, girl? How do you not see it? And it's not that she didn't see it. She just chose not to. Because why would he lie to her about that? But you also got to remember, Yuri wasn't dumb when she was asking No those questions. When her and No were talking, she asked him, do you know who was at Phun's place? And I watched that recently, and it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. Why would she ask it like that? She was like, she didn't ask, do you know that Phun had someone at his house? Because, yeah, friends tell each other a lot. But it was like the next day. Like, there was no way he would have known that fast. And especially, I don't think he would have told him. So from how she phrased it, it seemed like Yuri suspected that not only would No know who was at the house, but No was at the house when it happened. And I'm thinking in my head, like, why would she think he was at the house when it happened? But the only reason why she would think that is because she believes that No was the person. No's the person that he was with. There's no other reason. And she's been getting all this evidence to confirm that, like, oh, they're not gay, but they're really close friends, but they act kind of like a little weirdy out to me when they're around each other. Like, there's no way she didn't believe for a second that they weren't doing it. I truthfully believe that Yuri knew way before he told her. Way before. And she just chose not to say anything. Because she knew he was saying when someone's giving the cold shoulder, she knew he was talking about himself. So I truthfully do believe, wholeheartedly, Yuri knew. But Yuri just didn't want to say anything because once she really loves No and she didn't want to give him up. And as long as he wasn't going to do anything to, like, make her love leave, she wasn't going to say anything. And it's sad, and it makes me feel sad for Yuri, but I truthfully believe that. Like, I truthfully believe, like, Yuri wasn't going to say or do anything about it as long as Noh never gave her a reason to say or do anything about it. It's like one of those hypothetical, like if your husband was cheating on you, but like he gave you a happy life and you never knew and you died not knowing, would you be upset that he cheated? And most people would say yes, because yeah, he gave me a perfect life, but he was living another life with somebody else. Like, it's love me, not love them and me. It's love me. So I feel like she's one of those people who would have been like, no, I wouldn't have been upset because he gave me a happiness in my life. And I didn't know about the other person at all. So why would I be upset about that? I feel like that's her answer. It's not the more regular answer of being how, oh, I would be upset because it's loved me and only me. She would have been like, he never told me. He never gave me a reason to think that or believe in that. So no, I wouldn't be upset because I didn't know. And even if I kind of figured it out, I would have chose not to know. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on Yuri. Out of all of them, she's the most tragic character. Like, her friend had issue with her, and then she had issues with Noh, and then she had the issue with finding out that Noh probably loved PhunNoh, and then AIM. It's just, Yuri went through a lot, and a bunch of people give her shit for that shit. But no, she was an amazing character, and I love her wholeheartedly. So let's get into, ooh boy, oh boy, let's Pang. Bro, we can't even truthfully talk everything about Pang because that goes into the whole hetero, but girl, she was obsessed. If I would say she was even more obsessed with guys like doing stuff together than even I was, because she was trying to get like her friend from school with like some other friend from school to like start doing stuff together. I'm like, girl, that's too much. We ain't trying to make this shit appear out of thin air. Like, come on, man. Like, so all that. And I loved it because even when she found out and she knew, like, she still wanted them to be together. Like, she's like, yeah, okay, you lied, and yeah, it was fake, but like, to a certain aspect, it wasn't fake. Like, you guys didn't fake everything. If you guys were faking it, and I was even there. So I'm glad she encouraged PhunNoh to like chase after him. Do it, bro. Get the man of your dreams. But didn't tell them like, but make sure you break up with your girlfriend. She left that part out. She missed the ball on that one. She missed the ball. I think she still didn't know. But I think that's what she did know. But I don't think she knew it completely. But for me, it was like, yeah, babe, like, add that part in. Like, put that in. Like, let him know. Like, tell him that. Like, make sure to break up with your girlfriends. Break up with them. Like, forgot that part. She left that out. She forgot. All right, so let's go into the male. We talked about two females. Let's go into some male characters. Let's talk about some male characters. Let's talk about bro. When I watched it the second time, I was so sad when I got to the end and I realized that like this was the last time we were gonna see this man, because this man, he knew and he was faithful. He knew, and he was like, bruh, like, and he didn't make him, he teased, right? It's an all boys school. He teased, and he joked around with him about it, but he never made him feel shitty for possibly liking PhunNoh. Because there's no way him and all the boys at the musical club didn't know that he was dating PhunNoh. There's no way. Like, they knew that, like, something was going on, right? They were joking and teasing that, like, he sold himself to PhunNoh for the musical instruments. But to a certain extent, they really did know that he probably did do that to get the musical instruments. And I have no doubt about that in my mind. Like, I truly feel like they knew about that. And that they really, truthfully did care about him, and they wanted him to be happy and to know he was accepted without straight up telling him, bro, like, yeah, we know you're gay. Because sometimes it's kind of hard to tell the people who are kind of in denial that they are gay, and like they kind of were just like letting him know, like, if you are, it's cool, like, you know, no big deal. But they weren't saying that, and I feel like Om was kind of like that because he was giving him advice, but like, no. He was a good friend. He gave him advice. He helped him out as much as he could. Not as much as season 2, but I feel like that's because he was just limited in like where he was in the show. But I really did feel like, at least for season 1, he did as much as he could, and he was a good ass friend. Like, I truthfully did love first season a lot, because he really did impact No in a way by like letting him understand it. Like, dude, like, we're in this together. Like, I got your back. We're gonna be fine. So yeah. So I was gonna talk about the parents, but parents weren't really a big focus at all in season 1. Other than the mom, No's mom. I didn't even know No's dad only came in for like 1 millisecond, and we never saw Phun's parents. Like, at all. And we only saw Phun's like I don't want to call her the maid. We only saw the maid and the butler, or like the live-in like help. We only saw them. Or I don't know if that's family. I don't know. We only saw them. So yeah. And then I was gonna talk about friends. As much as I can say, you're paying. When it comes to friends, was definitely one of the best, but I have him more as like a male, like high character. The club was very supportive. They really dedicated most of their time to like making sure that like no one knew that like they had his back by like helping him with the musical instruments and being understanding, but like not really pressuring about the fact that like he might have feelings for Phun, and just making like school life for No when he was really down and out like an overall good experience. So yeah, I love it. I love it. So now let's talk about the main couple. I know we left them out. It's been so long. So who do I want to start with? You know what? Let's start with Phun. And I'm going to start with Phun because, listen, I'm not a Phun anti. You know, I'm not against him. But I got a couple issues with him, right? The one thing I can say that I love about Phun is his jealousy streaks. Like, his jealousy scenes, top quality content right there. Because his jealousy is just so expressive. Like, you can see it on his face when he gets so jealous all the time. From when they were at the bookstore, from when Ern was talking about No, to when No was looking at the girl at the restaurant, when they were at the little like bonfire thing, and the girls were looking at him like ooh, like all that mess. Like, he got so jealous. All jealousy scenes top notch, top quality, 10 out of 10. But I have a lot of problems with him, right? He doesn't want No to get jealous about Abe, but he can get jealous about all the other girls that he has around him. He can get not all of the girls he has around, all of the girls that surround No, who No isn't even attracted to. Like, yeah, he sees them as cute and like adorable, but he's not trying to like get with them as much as he was trying to get with Phun. And I think that was very evident in how No acts. Like, Phun getting jealous about literally everything that happens to No was like getting kind of ridiculous at times. It's like he got so mad that No took the money from Ern, but like, dude, like we still don't have the money. Like, I still don't have the money, and if you knew, you could have just paid it out of pocket. Why didn't you do that? Why did you wait until Ern paid out of pocket to then pay Ern to pay the money back that just got paid out of pocket? Like, why did you do it like that? It's very confusing. It's very, very confusing. And I think that it would have been less confusing if Phun had just told him straight up front, like, dude, I can't get the money, but it said like I'll give you out of pocket, and then I'll figure out a way to like get the money for you for your class. Like, he should have done something like that if he was really going to stress about it and get so upset at No for just taking money that he obviously needed, because you weren't giving him the money and he needed the money. So there's just stuff like that where just like Phun has no right to be that upset about something that simple. And don't get me wrong. And also, Phun started. Let's talk about this kissing scene. I haven't gotten to it yet because the romance happens after the characters. But let me talk a bit about like the whole like near the first kiss scene that could have happened, the almost kiss scene. I want to talk about it because Phun was the one that backed out. And I said the reason why PhunNoh backed out, it's because when I first watched it, I thought that PhunNoh was the one that backed out of it. And even now, I still believe it because I just said that it wasn't PhunNoh, and that wasn't even me like messing up their names. I truthfully did believe that PhunNoh was the one that backed out of that kissing scene, that almost kiss scene. It was Noh, and the reason why Noh backed out is because PhunNoh started to back out, but he didn't back out the way Noh did, where Noh just left the room. PhunNoh started to, he cracked the forward, and then he started moving back while Noh is still moving forward. And then I guess Noh got irritated or upset, as I would have been, and left. And I blame it on the fact that PhunNoh didn't want to have to take the consequences of his actions and accept the fact that, like, oh no, like, you kissed me, I didn't kiss you. Like, I feel like that's what he wanted to happen, where he could have put the blame on Noh for kissing him, when in all actuality they both mutually were trying to kiss each other. But he realized mid-kiss, like, oh shit, I can't do this. But instead of like completely backing his head out, he moved backwards enough where it's like he's hesitating, but it's enough that, like, if Noh had really pushed forward, like, it would have happened. But yeah, like, shit like that bothered me. It really bothered me, because, like, PhunNoh should have known that Noh wants this. But if you're gonna do that and act like that, of course it's not gonna happen. So it's stuff like that where, like, PhunNoh initiates it, like the hand holding in the fucking mall. He did that too. All these actions, from the kiss to the hand holding to the putting ointment on my back, all of this was initiated by PhunNoh. All started by PhunNoh. PhunNoh started this. PhunNoh initiated it. PhunNoh wanted it to happen, and he was the one that put the towel around him. He was the one that got mad at Noh for taking Ern's money and made it a huge big scene. He was the one that took Noh's necklace away. Took the necklace that Ern gave to Noh away and said, in the jealousy of moment, I don't want you to be branded by somebody else other than me. Like, some stupid shit like that. Like, he did all that. He started all that. It was PhunNoh. It wasn't even Noh. Noh just had the backfire about all this. And I'm not saying that Noh isn't guilty. Noh is just as guilty as PhunNoh is for the fact that he cheated anyways. But I really want to bring the fact that, like, none of this would have happened if PhunNoh would have just told his dad, I'm dating this girl named Aim. I really love her, and I'm going to prove to you that our love is worth it. If he would have done something like this, instead of this whole huge fiasco, getting this fake boyfriend to convince his sister, to convince his dad, and then falling in love with him, none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened. None of it. So, yeah, I'm a bit of an anti. A little bit. Not a lot. I guess not. I don't want to say him a lot. I don't want to say I hate PhunNoh, because I love him. I truly do. I love PhunNoh. I love Noh. I love Noh. And I can never fault him for this. Not Noh, PhunNoh. I can never fault PhunNoh for this. But it's just like, he could have done so many different things than what he did. So many different things. So, that's my take. Now, let's talk about Noh. As we can obviously tell, I'm Team Noh. I am Team Noh. All the flip. Team Noh. Hashtag Team Noh. All the flipping way. Always. All the time. I'm always Team Noh. And I'm Team Noh simply because of the fact that Noh got the burnt end of the stick the entire first season. No, the entire second season, it kind of went back and forth. You know, it kind of went back and forth. I really can't say I was Team Noh for the second season, because it was halfway. You know, it was leaning one way, to lead another way, and it was just a mess. It was just a hot fucking mess. But I could definitely say for the second season, I was team. No, not the second season, the first season. I could say for the first season, I was Team Noh, and I was Team Noh because Noh went through a lot. He went through a lot. He lost his money for the music club, and then he sold himself essentially to get the music back for the music club. He essentially had to fake date and felt very uncomfortable fake dating some guy, but he did it for money, which, you know, should be labeled as sexual assault maybe, but he signed up for it in a way, so I don't know where to really label that. So yeah, I don't know where to put that on the scale, because he signed up for it, but then he felt uncomfortable with it. But he couldn't sign out because he needed the money. We were desperate. You know, we were desperate. So signed up, wanted to back out, but signed up. So I felt like No truthfully did what he had to do, but this is the thing, right? This is where. So if you were to ask me when Phun fell in love with No, I'm gonna tell you Phun was in love with No the entire flipping time, and I will believe that forever and ever. But here, I truthfully believe that, because there's no. You can't tell me Phun acts No out of all the people around him. He acts No flipping way. There was a reason. I believe that it's because he loved Phun since the very beginning. Before the first episode even came out, he had huge feelings for No, but couldn't say or do anything about it. And I 100% without a doubt believe that. Because think about this. He calls when he's with Abe and he ditches him, instead of just telling him go through the front gate and just tell them that I let you in, or just calling someone from the house, he leaves his girlfriend to go for Phun when he could have been getting the dick ride of a lifetime. Fucking cap. There's no way in hell Phun was gonna let that slide. No, he was in love with fucking No, and I believe that wholeheartedly. But here's what I want to say about No. No didn't fall in love with Phun until pretty much the water scene, the whole water fight scene. This is where Phun and No genuinely felt true like tension and like connection between each other. And you could definitely tell, like, maybe in that scene, maybe they would have kissed, for other reasons. I truly believe, like, this scene in itself was, like, the first scene that, like, they felt true blue emotions for each other. More so No. Because I already believe No, Phun was in love with the guy. But I truly believe that No felt true blue, like, true love emotions for Phun for the first time ever. And that carried on to the next day. Actually, it carried on that night when, like, Phun was, like, leaving, and he said bye to No twice because he walked one way, and I think he knew he walked the wrong way, so then he walked the other way, and he said bye. He's like, bye. Like, No's, like, still in the walkway, and they're both smiling about what happened. And, like, that's where I feel like that's when it happened. At least for No, that's when it happened. Because I'm everyone's gonna be like, this is when they both. No, Phun was already in love with the man. Phun loved this man since this entire thing happened. Since the entire thing happened. I truthfully believe that. He loved this man since the entire thing happened. While No only started liking Phun recently after that water scene, like, he really felt that connection. He was already fake dating, and he was getting really into it, because they already had, like, the sleeping in the same bed scene, putting the covers in between them scene. Like, it's just like how eventually you'll see how Fluke fell for Ern. It's like Phun did this, No did it, but, like, similarly, and, like, it was even more intense than how it did with Fluke. So it's like they both, like, he fell for him. And so then he goes to his house and he takes care of him. And this is where I compared the ointment scene at Phun's house to the washing him off at No's house. Because when No was putting on Phun's ointment at Phun's house, it was very obvious that he was kind of irritated, that he didn't really like it, and that he was like, he wanted to do it, but he didn't want to. But he was obviously doing it anyway, so, like, No, what are you doing? And you should have just, like, called, like, the maid or his sister or somebody to, like, come put his ointment for him, or really, like, make it obvious and, like, leave, or, like, hide somewhere in the room, or just get on a game and just not do it. Like, you could have done a lot of different things to put on his ointment. But anyways, so he puts on his ointment for him, and he makes it, like, very awkward. He's, like, slapping his back, and he's, like, doing, like, the little, I don't know what it's like, the up and down hand movements on his back. He's like, puts his hand, like, he slaps on his back and it slides down. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like the chalkboard thing. Like, they slap their hands on the chalkboard and they slide their nails down. Like, that's how I felt like he was doing. But then when you compare this to the water back rub scene that he did for Phun at his house, it's completely different. Like, he's actively telling take off your clothes. He rubs him all down. Then he tells him to take off his pants. He starts rubbing him down there too. And it's like, where was this non-fear, like, in the first half? Because, like, now he's just doing it without a care, when before he was bitching and like making it dramatic, just being dramatic. Like, where did all the dramatics go? Like, why are you more calm about doing it now? And then you're sleeping in the same bed and you're not as bitching, and you like knew he was gonna cuddle, and I kind of think you wanted to cuddle because the first time you cuddled you really didn't put up that much of a fight, and the second time you cuddled you were kind of asking for it. So I don't know, it's kind of like he was like, yeah, like, last time you were cuddling me it was weird, but like it was kind of weird, but like he calls again, he's like, he didn't say stop, like he's kind of let it happen. Like he knew, he was like, Phun gave an excuse, but like I feel like no knew it was an excuse. It was like, that's fine. But like he really wanted to cuddle with Phun without telling Phun cuddle me. So yeah, it just feels like no change in that moment to like loving Phun, and it also shows that No really did have like strong like feelings to Phun, and that could have been broken or taken away by anyone, including like Yuri and who both were interested in him, but like he showed absolutely no care to either one of these characters. Yuri way more than but definitely when it came to Yuri, he did it more because Yuri pretty much like made it like she like essentially forced him to be her boyfriend, and he just kind of accepted it because, you know, society, and like he didn't want to be like looked at as like, oh, you're not dating, even though none of the guys at the music club are dating anyone. But yeah, so that's how I feel about Noel and everything that's happened with him. I just feel like no, it's like he got the short end, right? I don't feel like No should be left out of the cheating bash as Phun is. As much as I bash Phun for cheating and getting all this shit into it, No essentially like fell into it as well. You kind of just allowed it to happen, and I'm not gonna blame him. The only time I'm not gonna blame him is for the first night, because bro, we were desperate. But the night after that, like the whole water scene and then the whole ointment scene, yeah, he deserves a bashing for that too. Bad No. Bad No. But yeah, he's my favorite. He's my favorite compared to Phun. So I'm not gonna bash him this hard, but he's just as guilty as cheating and being manipulative and lying as Phun is. But yeah, so let's go to the last person of this, who is Ern. And I brought up Ern earlier. Ern is definitely our, I don't want to say our antagonist, but just the third piece of the triangle is what I like to say. Actually, no, he's the fourth piece of our already complicated triangle. He doesn't make it a square, he's just a part of the triangle. And how Ern's a part of the triangle is that he loves Noah as well. Like, Ern, Yuri, and Ern, Yuri, and Phun all love Noah. So they all just make up a triangle, but they're not connected, because I feel like how Yuri and Phun are connected is like they're friends, like they're like friends to each other, because he like Phun and Yuri hang out because Phun's girlfriend is Yuri's best friend. So I feel like they're connected, and I don't even think Yuri even know who Ern is. She know who Fluke is, and Fluke likes Yuri a lot, but she doesn't know who Ern is. And he definitely doesn't. She definitely doesn't know that Phun, like, no, not Phun. Ern likes no, like she doesn't know that at all. So he's part of the triangle, but he doesn't make it a square, like none whatsoever. So because no one essentially likes it, his affection only go to Noel, and Noel's affection to him kind of go as like a friend, maybe not even less than a friend, an acquaintance. Like it's nothing big at all that like brings Ern out. And so there's not much to say other than Ern wants no bad, and he's late to the punch. He's late to the game. He should have got here a couple of days earlier. He would have had him, but you know, just a dude that's affectionately in love with no. Yeah, no, it's kind of just acts like, oh, I don't know who you are. Like, I know who you are, but like, I don't want to bring it up, and I don't want to really get into it with you and stuff like that. So yeah, so love earned, love his character. Definitely more sees his affection bloom and really manifest in second season, but they literally bring it to head at the end of the first season, which is definitely something they should have done and not leave out. So yeah, so we're going to say all the characters had depth. They had understanding. And maybe I'm giving some of these characters, like Yuri and and all of them, a little bit more credit. Even the music club, I'm giving them a lot more. Even Yuri and Pun. Like I feel like I'm giving all of them a lot more credit than the show gave them. But I just feel like they did a really good job. Like they cooked it out of the ballpark. Like they did really good. So I'm giving it a check mark. And maybe this is biased, but I really do feel like they did a really good job. There is some instances where it was like it's just inconsistent and it kind of doesn't make sense. Because no average person in a relationship is gonna do this. It kind of seems a bit backwards for the plot to work out sometimes. Like specifically, Pun not fighting for his and Aim's love to his dad specifically. Like stuff like that makes it seem like it's not consistent and like it doesn't make sense, and it kind of seems like the only reason why this works is because they skip A B C D and E of the planning glide. But I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna give it a check mark and move on. So I'm out of breath. We're on to the last part of the checklist, which is romance. So we're going to talk about the kiss scenes. We're going to talk about the drug kiss scene, and we're going to talk about the hotel kiss scenes. Because what I believe those are the only two kiss scenes we got in this chapter. Now, the drunk kiss scene is like, they were drinking a whole lot that night. And then Pun started crying as he does, and and then Noel got into his heart. It was like, if all of that was gone and you just had you and you just had me, would you want me? And he's like, I want you. And I'm like, and so with that, the kiss scene is like, it wasn't bad. It was a placebo kiss, and I'm upset with that. When it comes to this series, I'm not upset that they didn't do like actual kissing scenes. I feel like I would have hated it more if there was actual kissing scenes. It just doesn't feel the vibe, and also I believe the reason why they didn't have kissing scenes is because Noah was not of age to be kissing Pun on camera, and Pun could have probably went to jail, and so there was no kissing scenes. And I also believe that like Captain is the cousin of the director who made LoveSick and Love by Chance. Don't quote me on that. Do not quote me. I do not know. I will have to go fact check myself later. But I do believe that he is the cousin. I think that's how he even got this role, was because he knew the director and the director put him in here. So don't quote me, but that's what I believe, or that's what I remember happening. Like, that's how I believe this is happening. So, yeah, so the kiss scenes were both placebo kisses, which is fine. Our fishies, the fish were a symbolism of sex and kissing. More sex than kissing. And like cuddling and shit like that. Because when they cuddled, the fish were shown. When they kissed, the fish were shown. When they had sex, the fish were shown. So all three of those scenes, the fish were seen. So that's what it refers to, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm not a hardcore BL stan, I guess. Don't get me wrong, Max and Tool making out on camera is hot as fuck, but I don't need that to be happy or satisfied with the show. Sometimes hand holding can be an amazing thing to wait for. Sometimes it can be the best thing to wait for. Sometimes it's the only thing I'm waiting for. I'm not saying that all shows. Some shows, if you build it up to, should have a kiss scene. But they did, but it wasn't like an actual kissing scene because it was a placebo kiss, because he couldn't kiss on camera. So it's not needed for me to be happy with a show at all. So I was fine with it. I was fine with like having like no like crazy sex scene, because think about it. think about this, right? I'm gonna put up 2 pictures. Think about Phun and No. And we're not talking about Captain. I'm gonna put up a picture of Captain, and we're not talking about Nawat. We're not talking about these very 2 gorgeous, fantastic, hot-ass babes that they are today. We're talking about little baby No, and we're talking about little baby Phun. Not White, not Captain. We're not talking about that. No, no, no. Baby No, baby Phun. Do you really see those 2 going at it like Max Tool do in their show? Do you really see that? Because I don't see that. And to be honest, I don't want to see that. All right? I'm going to be honest. I don't want to see it. I'm perfectly fine with the fact that hand-holding was the craziest shit we got in the series in the first season. I'm going to say. I'm perfectly fine. Them and the flipping forehead kisses. All right? Then we even got an Eskimo kiss. You know, the little nose, like the nose touching shit. I think we got that too. I don't remember. But I'm happy with all of those compared to them making out, French kissing with tongues all in their mouth and them hip grinding all over each other. We don't need all that. We don't. All right? Some of you people just need to watch some good porn. We don't need all that in the shows, all right? Some couples aren't built for that, and that's okay. That is perfectly okay, you know? Sometimes it's the little things that matter, all right? It's the little things. Just the little things. Hand holding, Eskimo and forehead kisses, the little things, the cuddling. It's the little things that matter, all right? Just the little things. We don't need all that. We don't need all that crazy stuff, you know? Leave that to Max and Cole. Leave that to Darn Type, all right? Leave that to them, all right? Leave it to them. Because even for whatever reason, I'll be blown away. For whatever reason, if White Captain were to come out in a show again, even though it's been years and they're fine. Now, I don't expect them to do anything like that. I don't expect them to like hip grinds and tongue kiss. None of that. Like them just being together in a same show, like being a thing or whatever, is enough. Because the fact that you can even get these 2 in the same series at this point is a miracle. It's a goddamn miracle. So yeah. Whew. I want to say I said all I said. And I have like a couple more about like the water fight scene and the soup scene and all that stuff, but Phun holding hands and the hug at the hotel and what Noah did when Phun was sick and all that stuff and the chemistry, but I think I said everything I gotta say. If I do have enough for like a mini or episode for the checklist or just like an aftermath, I'll definitely put it in there. But I feel like I've said everything I have to say about LoveSick. And I'm actually very excited that I finally finished it. I've gotten to the point where like I've got the script and I record, not a script, just like an outline of what I want to say. And I get to the point of recording and then I ramble. And I don't know if I should leave the rambles out or not. I feel like I should because it's just me. But I'm going to figure out which parts are like, okay, this is too much. And then, all right, which ones should stay? And I feel like I don't articulate my words correctly. Like, I'm not saying the words the right way, accurately. So, I might change that as well. And that's not, this is something I gotta figure out. I gotta figure it out. So, I'm so excited. I'm so out of breath. I should have drunk some water, took a break or something. So out of breath. But I'm glad to say, that in my biased ass opinion, the LoveSick gets a checklist approval. Woo! A checklist approval. Let's go. It is checklist approved. I love LoveSick, and I'm always gonna be coming back to watch it. every birthday that Noah and Noah and Captain have together. It's like a moment. It's the one moment we get to see them interacting together, and we're like, oh, Noah. It was my one little moment, and I celebrate it every single year when it happens. The 2 times in a year it happens. Like when we got reminders, which I think I still have to make a thing about that. I gotta make a thing about that as well. When we got reminders, when I saw that like the teaser from Lazy Summer, I lost it. I actually didn't believe it. I truthfully didn't believe that Noah was back. I didn't believe it because Captain made it very like assured that like, bitches, I'm gone. He let us know that like, I'm gone, I'm outie, like I'm not doing this anymore, bye bitch. And like I was ready to live that fantasy where like he was gone and it was over, and like season 2, like he did 2 seasons in one. Like I give it to him. So the fact that he came back just for like a reunion, like that's what we wanted. Like I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch Reminders for the Love by Chance couples at all. I watched it because I saw something from my childhood, something from my past that I grew, and it grew me into the person I feel like I am today. Like that part was there, and I wanted to live in it. I wanted to thrive in it. I wanted to be a part of it, and I, as usual, was still Team Yo and Anti-Phun, as I should be. Cause shit, it don't matter. Shit just does not change between those two. It's been years. So yeah, so I want to thank everyone for coming to listen to me ramble and be giddy about LoveSick, to ramble about LoveSick. I love this series, and I really want to keep doing this. I want to do this for other series, and it might not be as long or as crazy or as rambly as this one was, but I'm glad that I started. I'm glad that I finally finished one. Woo! And there's more to come. There's so many series I need to watch, so many series I still need to talk about that I did watch, and I just feel like there's so much out there that I can discuss. There's a whole world to explore, and I want to explore it with you. So leave some comments down below. Tell me about LoveSick. Tell me about your favorite season of LoveSick. Tell me about your theories. Give me more theories. If I left something out, please tell me. I'd love to put in another episode. Oh, there's so much to analyze and deduct about this show that like I just want to bring a part of the community that like wants to really just deep dive into these shows. Like just come along with me. We can talk about it, because I'm here, and I'm hoping you're here with me too. So thank you so much for everyone for stopping by, and I will see you guys in the next checklist. Love you guys. Bye.